As we slowly draw closer to the end of summer, I thought it was time for a farm update. We live in Missouri with our 11 kids. We are just on the edge of the Ozarks. It's been pretty hot and dry for a little bit. We have had some rain here and there, but for the most part, it's hot and dry, so what you're going to see reflects that. So like I said, it's the end of August and our pastures are pretty taxed. They're dry, there's not a lot growing, and so we have been actually letting our dairy cows out to graze our property. Jason and Leo installed a gate at the end of the lane road to keep them from wandering off to the neighbors, which is what they like to do if they're left unattended. So now they can graze the entire property and be our lawnmowers, eat the grass all over, any weeds that they find, and that's working for now. This is our dairy cow, April, who we had with a Jersey bull of our friends for a very short time, and we were hoping that she was bred during that time. I bought some blood pregnancy tests from Amazon, and I bought a different brand than I normally do, and I was really frustrated because I could not get the thing to stick. The other brand had been so easy. This one was just not happening. I finally gave up. So I have some milk sample tests that we can use. That just takes longer because you have to mail them off and wait for a response. I'm really hoping she's bred, but I'm a little bit concerned that it didn't take. So we have big news with the quail today. Samuel got his very first egg. You know, this is Samuel, my 11-year-old's project. He bought these quail. He set up their cage. He's been watching videos to learn all about it. And he has been patiently waiting and got his first egg. So that was very exciting. He's hoping to sell the eggs locally and maybe incubate chicks and sell those as well. He does have quite a few males. That was disappointing to him because he bought chicks not knowing if they were male or female, and got quite a few. Oh, there's another one. Oh, that's so exciting. Should I leave that there? Maybe I should leave it for him to find. Ah, two. That's so fun. Quail lay in sand, which is different than chickens, but isn't that cool? Wow, how awesome. Last year we had bees here on the farm, and we have just had bad luck with bees. One, they've either left us or we had a hive that didn't make it through the winter, etc. But as of yesterday, we're trying again because we had a friend call and ask to do a trade. They had some bees that they wanted to trade for a hive box. So we said, sure, we'll give it another try. We're doing things differently this time. We've always kept our bees in one particular spot up at the top of the property where honestly nothing grows very well. The fruit trees haven't really produced there. We've had other things that we planted that didn't do well. So I said, let's get a fresh start and just move the bees to an entirely different area. So we put the hive right here in what is going to be a future herb garden. Everything's very dry right now, but I have feverfew and catnip and yarrow, and these are just some pretty flowers. This is going to be an area that we are going to be raising medicinal herbs and teas and other things. And so last night, just watch your step, okay, because there are a lot of bees on the ground. Last night our friends brought their box, which is this right here. We have to give this back to them, but this was what they brought the bees in, and we set it in front of our hive box. He said there's 11 frames currently in this box, which is pretty good for end of August to give them a good start for the winter, because that was our big concern, is getting bees right now when there's not a whole lot of food for them out and about. Will they make it through the winter? That was the big question. So 11 frames is pretty good. We're going to be moving the frames into our box. This is the roof. We need to have a metal roof on there. So we're hopeful. Now, because we have free-range dairy cows, we didn't want to risk this getting knocked over, and so I put up some fake hot wire here. They know that hot wire is hot and they respect it. I even tied on some little flags as if it's really hot. So I'm hoping. Do you think they'll believe it? Do you think they'll think it's hot?
They go under it.
I hope they think it's really hot because I want them to stay away. We'll see. Now, if you have a homestead, you probably have areas that need to be cleaned up just like we do. This pile right here needs to be picked up. We got a load of organic grain from our local feed store. I like to save the bags for putting under mulch as a weed suppressant, so I just need to gather these together, probably store them over there in my greenhouse. On another video, I had talked about ripping out some of the zinnias that had gone crazy in my garden, and you guys felt really strongly about that. One of you even asked, do I live too far away to come get your zinnias? Which I hate to tell you, but in August, I don't think a zinnia would transplant well. The plants are moving toward the end of their life, so, you know. Anyway, what I decided to do was take out some of them that were right here by the edge of this herb bed just to give it sunlight. But you can see the big mess is still there for all of you who were very sad at the thought of me pulling it up. There you go. The garden is kind of in an in-between place. We have these delicious green onions growing. We still have chard. The marigolds are continuing to go crazy. I planted those as a natural pest repellent. And then here in these open places where I ripped out old crops, we have some new things coming up, like tiny little lettuce for fall plantings. As we've gotten back to homeschooling, I'm finding myself having less and less desire to be out in the garden. It's just a natural progression, which is good in the spring and early summer. I just want to be out here all the time. And now I'm ready to just start moving toward being in the house with my kids, doing some learning together. Samuel heard the news. Did Benjamin tell you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your second egg.
Oh, wow.
I was telling the people how your quail were doing and that you got your first egg today, and lo and behold. Number 2.
Number.
Over there.
I didn't know that. Can I hold it?
Yep.
They're all so different.
Last year, I told myself I am not planting any more pole beans, the green beans. I'm not planting any more of the climbing kind. This year, volunteers came up, I let them grow, and I regret it because they take up a ton of space, and I'm really just not getting a harvest off of them. It's so frustrating. So I replanted some bush green beans for a fall harvest. We'll see. I haven't looked to see if they're coming up yet, but I'm more hopeful for those. It's amazing how much more they produce on such a small plant. These big monsters, they're just frustrating. The basil has been abundant this year. I've gotten a ton of basil. Also, the sweet potatoes are probably close to being harvested, and that village goes on quite a while. That's all sweet potatoes there. And here we have more potatoes. Again, we're just at the point where we're starting to turn into a weed forest. One problem that I had this year was I ran out of mulch. I like mulching my garden thickly, and I completely ran out of mulch, and the friend that was giving us mulch, his mulcher broke, and so I was out. Well, I just got a big load of mulch that Jason had gotten from work. They do a lot of mulch with his work, but a lot of it's dyed. So this was a big load of natural mulch. So now I'm able to bring it into the garden. It's just sitting on the other side of the fence, and I just haven't had time to bring it over. But look at this. This is a great example. Do you see this puny little bush? Yeah. I'm hopeful that my bush beans will come up. This is where I planted them. Looks like I need to water again. My summer cucumber plants are done producing, but I do have some fall plants growing, so that's pretty exciting. These are my okra plants. They produce quickly, of course. Such beautiful flowers. The pepper plants we've harvested quite a bit, and they are still producing. We have really been blessed by our neighbor who has a huge planting of peppers and tomatoes and has been generously sharing with us. So I've been able to do a lot of preserving because of that, even though my peppers produced pretty well, but of course nothing like his. And my tomatoes, tomato jungle, just did not produce near the amount of paste tomatoes that I needed. I need to plant no little small tomatoes next year because I had so many volunteers grow up and they kind of all got mixed together to where there's a lot of tomato plants but not a lot of productive paste tomatoes that I need for preserving. So yeah, Please remind me next year, no small tomatoes, only paste tomatoes because they'll come anyway. So while our cows have been free ranging during the day, we have been locking them into this area in the evening. So this is where they get fed and milked in the evening. They're locked here all night with hay and water, of course. And then they get milked again in the morning and then let out. And that's been working really well. But I want to change the area that we're locking them up during those times to this pasture over here. My main reason for wanting to do this, Bella and I have been talking through a lot of the options. And what we want to do is confine our chickens again. So our chickens have kind of been free ranging also all summer, and they are hiding their eggs. So I'm wanting to move our chicken coop. We have a movable coop. I'm wanting to move it back in this pasture where it was actually last winter, and confining them in here. Because Bella had worked hard to put up netting around this pasture, it's mostly chicken proof. So my thought is if the dairy cows are in here in the evenings, at night, and early mornings, then the chickens will scratch through their manure for the grain, which is ideal. It gets the manure to spread out evenly instead of having these big hot spots. So they'll be in there with the chickens during those hours, and then we can let them out or into other pastures during the day. The chickens will stay in here always, though. But we have one fellow who needs to leave before we make this happen. We are still babysitting Jason's cousin's ram named Prince. He's getting ready to go to his home, though. And once that happens, we will have our pasture back again. Right now, it'd be too complicated. Oh boy, you've really pushed that little fence over, haven't you? Right now, it would be too complicated to have him in with the cows because they get fed something that he can't have. So we'd have to block them, block him out. I don't know. It just makes everything more complicated. So once he goes to his home, then the cows can come in here again. We do have somebody else in this pasture at the moment, right in this hot wire pen. This is our male pig, our breeding pig, Billy. And so he is currently in this pasture under these shady trees in hot wire pen because we do not want him breeding any ladies right now. So he's kind of in timeout. Samuel just came up with the mail, and we got a precious gift from Lynn, one of our viewers. She had emailed me saying that she noticed I was out of canning jars and she wanted to send us a gift certificate to get some more canning jars. So how awesome is that?
Awesome.
Thank you. So generous, and we will put it to use. We will fill those jars. So Samuel and I were the meat bird buddies together. Every day we would go out, at the end it was twice a day, and we would move the tractor, it's called, the movable coop that the meat birds were in. And we really enjoyed that time together, didn't we?
Yeah, that was fun. I was just in the pasture looking at it. I'm like, wow, we used to move that every day.
I know. We're kind of sad. When we were getting ready to process the meat birds, we took our picture together and we're like, the final moving.
We need another job.
We needed another job together. We had fun.
In the summer, we can keep our rabbits in these rabbit tractors. They're basically movable cages that enable the rabbit to eat fresh grass because it's moved to a new location each day. We also have the movable chicken coop. This one is a lot harder to move. You have to hook it up to a four-wheeler or something like that. It does not get moved as frequently, of course. But you can just pull it to a new location, and this is the thing that I'm wanting to bring over to our small pasture.
There are only a few obedient chickens laying in this thing, but I'm thankful for them. This is the chicken tractor that Samuel and I move together every day, twice a day at the end. Bella built this, and Jason, they've worked together on it. It's really simple design, and it worked so well because it's tall. The wind was able to get through. It's white, which reflected the sun. So we had our meat birds in two different locations, and the other one, they were overheating. we moved everybody in here and they did wonderfully. So really, really grateful for it. The door is over on this side. That's the door. Very basic, works well. Now, this would not be seriously predator proof, but because we have big livestock guardian dogs, that's not an issue for us.
The other animal we have here on the farm are 3 geese, and it's gone really well with them. We had a little bit of kind of the goose aggression, just a little bit, and we were told to be the bigger goose. You raise your arms and go back at them, and since we've done that, everybody has been peaceful and happy together.
One unusual thing that we have here on the homestead right now is a little group of chicks, kind of in that adolescent age, that are actually being shepherded by a rooster. So their mom kind of left, so I guess she thought they were old enough to be on their own, and right away a rooster stepped up as like their commander. I don't know. All I can think is that he's a younger rooster who the other ones don't really let him have any of the ladies, so maybe he's raising these up as his future ladies. I don't know. But it's been weeks now that they are never apart. This group of little bitty chickens and this rooster, always together. It's just the wildest thing.
That is all for today, friends. Thanks for joining me in the walk around the farm. We will see you all soon in another video.